Hello, my name is Al, and before I begin to tell you about the Panic Away program, I would like to share with you a little bit about myself first. This is me. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a real person just like you, one that suffers with anxiety for over 15 years. I spent my childhood watching my mom battle with anxiety problems. I always thought this was my mother's problem, so I had no idea that I would ever experience the same thing. It started years ago, in the 70s. My mom was trying to raise me as a single parent back then, and life was not easy. With all the stress of trying to care for me, my mother had her first panic attack on the train. Ever since then, my mother became anxious and claustrophobic in any place that didn't have an open door. She could no longer take the train. Now, initially, this may not have seemed like such a crippling illness. However, when you are growing up in a major city like New York and can't afford a car, your major form of transportation is the train. So, of course, this had a huge effect on our lives. Many times I felt frustrated and limited because of her anxiety. I can remember my mother spending $349 on anxiety tapes to help her get better. $349 was a lot of money back in the 80s. Well, actually, $349 is a lot of money now. In trying to be supportive, I would listen to the tapes with her. I can remember learning breathing exercises and other little techniques to help her relax. I never thought I would need the same type of help. Since I always thought this was my mother's problem, I had no idea that I would ever experience the same thing. But I did. It was 15 years ago in college when I had my first panic attack. I can still remember it. I was sitting in the living room. I was anxious because I was in college for physical therapy and had to prepare for many tests. I was dating my wife at the time. My grandfather had died, whom we took care of for about 5 years. And now we were about to start taking care of my great-grandmother. Life was packed. Does this sound like your life? Too many things going on at the same time? Well, for me it was. And I guess with all the stress, it culminated into a full-blown panic attack. It felt more like I was having a heart attack. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. Now, I had the same illness that I thought would only belong to my mother. Now, anxiety was in control of me. As time went on, things got worse, because now I was picking up bad habits to control my anxiety. Overeating was one of them, or as we now call it, emotional eating. My addiction was ice cream. It seems that any time I would feel stressed, I would have this uncontrollable urge for Haagen-Dazs ice cream. A little bit of ice cream is okay, but I would eat the whole pint almost every day. Needless to say, I gained weight, and a lot of it. This is me right before college, pretty thin. And this is me a few years after college. I was 30 pounds heavier. This was getting out of control. How could I function if anxiety controlled me? By this point, I was now married. Would this affect my marriage? I wanted a solution. I wanted a way out. It was then that I realized why my mother was searching for an anxiety program. She didn't just want a program. She was looking for a way out. She wanted freedom from living a restrictive life. She was looking for a way to be a better mother, a better wife, a better worker. That was her real motivation. And now I needed the same thing. My motivation was looking for a way to be a better husband, a better friend, a better worker, to control my eating habits and these cravings for sweets. If you suffer with anxiety and panic attacks, you're here not because you're looking for an anxiety program, but because you want freedom too. Isn't that true? You want to be a better parent, wife, husband, boyfriend or girlfriend, worker or friend. You have to find out what's motivating you for being here today. For me, the solution didn't come till years later. The Panic Away program didn't come out till 2001. And I didn't find out about it till a few years after that. And I went through the same emotions as you did, trying to figure out if this program was legit. It's hard to trust anything on the internet anyway. But most people with anxiety will tell you we have a hard time trusting people in general. So this doesn't make it any easier. But all I knew was that I was serious. It wasn't easy because I didn't have the $349 like my mother did to try some program. In fact, to be honest with you, I decided to try the Panic Away program because I liked the price. It wasn't $300. It wasn't $200. It wasn't even $100. In fact, it was less than a pair of sneakers I had in my closet. But it proved to be an excellent solution for me. The author's name is Barry Magdaleno. Barry is a simple guy like you and me who have suffered at the hands of debilitating anxiety before turning things around. Now he teaches others how to do the same thing. Broadly speaking, the Panic Away program has two phases. The first one is to get rid of your panic attacks. The second is to reduce your anxiety level. The key thing to note is that the book isn't about coping with panic attacks. It's about completely stopping debilitating anxiety and its underlying cause. The Panic Away one-move technique lets you halt a panic attack in 21 seconds and reduce your overall anxiety in 7 minutes. To be honest with you, it did take me a few weeks to learn how to do this correctly. However, the instructions for the technique are easy to follow, but do require some practice, patience, and a little faith. The Panic Away program works for people with anxiety problems of varying severity. And most of all, it's simple. The benefits of using the Panic Away program is freedom, control over your life again, affordable, simple to implement, and fast results. Becoming the best you can possibly be. What more could you ask for? Would I recommend this program? Yes, definitely. It was the solution I was looking for. But now the question is, what about you? In order to be successful with any program, you need to ask yourself a few questions. What's motivating me in finding a solution today? For me, it was my family. But now, how serious are you? Ask yourself these questions. Am I really tired of suffering with anxiety and panic attacks? Am I really serious about finding a solution? If I found a solution today, would I act on it immediately? If you're serious about getting rid of your anxiety and panic attacks, then click the picture you see on this page. It's your turn now to get your life back in control. As far as my mother's concerned, she has her life back. She started taking short trips on the train and riding elevators. She admits being terrified, but she used the tools she learned and had succeeded. Since then, she has flown to Georgia, Switzerland, France, Italy, Venice, and getting ready to plan a trip to New Zealand. And oh, what about me and my wife? Well, this is us in St. Martin. Yep, she was the one I was dating in college. I'm proud to say that I am one of the over 60,000 people that has benefited greatly from this program. I honestly can't remember the last time I had a panic attack. But now, it's your turn. Click the button and take action today. I want to hear your success story now. Take care.